Hey friends, this article is called More Hands Please, Story of a Perpetual Juggler. As I begin to settle into my new role of being fully remote, around lunchtime is when I walk to this quaint little coffee shop, which inevitably turns into a grocery store run. On the way back, more often than not, I always tend to have more things that I can carry in my hands, and I've figured out why this happens every time. The culprit of all of my problems, once again, is my phone. Don't you agree? My phone, basically my entire existence on the interwebs, has a permanent spot in one of my hands. It does not matter if I'm scrolling through an article as I make way down through the aisles of the supermarket, while also simultaneously checking off each item from my grocery list. It is always situated firmly in my hand. Now, this grocery list has a quirk of its own. No matter how early I make that list, it is certain that I leave out the one single item that I wanted in the first place. Enter another inanimate object that always bugs me out, the shopping cart. Now, the shopping cart is a funny, shape-shifting being that tends to fill up with items so quickly, even when you've barely made it past the snacks aisle. Putting items in the cart, opening the doors to the freezer, pushing the cart, and browsing through all the nutritional information on the back of the packets are all responsibilities assigned to my free hand, the other hand being permanently occupied holding on to my key to the world, which is my phone. And I must say it is doing an excellent job at it. Now I wonder why grocery shopping as adults is overwhelming. Once checked out, the grocery bags will obviously need both my hands due to the sheer number of quote-unquote surprise items that made their way into the shopping cart in the first place. I don't own a car yet, so I'm not privy to the luxury of putting all the bags in the trunk, and off I go. But even if I did, there's yet another set of trick questions waiting for me at the entrance to my apartment building. Why would I think this is easy? At this instant, I'm holding two grocery bags, a cute tote bag, which is an absolute necessity in this world, while stepping out, where I'm faced with the dilemma of trying to find the keys to my apartment. The concierge folks have a history of being absent from their desk at the exact same moment as soon as they see me, so I need to struggle to find my key fob, which has to be present with me at all times. The key fob places a barrier to entry in 3 different points, one of them being even inside the elevator. Throughout this ordeal, I have to use my key fob. I need to put all the bags down, press the key fob, grab all my bags again, and then enter before the door shuts me out, which also has happened multiple times. And it is at times like these when I think to myself that if I had just another pair of hands, it would be so easy. I knew I had to write about this the minute I started fumbling for my keys yesterday, and if you have some fun grocery shopping stories, I would love to hear them too. Moving on from this semi-agitated rant about not having enough hands, there is a lot brewing on the back end of my content creation journey. I spent most of my time last month reflecting on my YouTube channel, newsletter, and my podcast. I've come to some incredibly insightful conclusions, and I've finally managed to put all of my thoughts into buckets that can be packaged easily and delivered to you in the best possible way. So here's a 10,000-foot view of what you can expect in 2024. My YouTube channel will mainly have long-form guitar playthroughs, some mix breakdowns, and a lot of live streams. The live streams are mainly focused towards answering specific questions in roadblocks in creativity, songwriting, and the promotional side of being an independent artist. I really want to focus on adding value and not so much on the content is packaged, and the long-form videos do have a long turnaround time, and I just don't have the time to edit those at this point. So yay, more live streams. My podcast, Ameya's monthly podcast for the foreseeable future, will be exclusively hosted on Spotify. Now, this is specifically because of an excellent feature on Spotify that allows me to create my own personalized style radio show with a Spotify Music Plus Talk episode. These Music Plus Talk episodes are short 15-minute episodes that will go over the history of the featuring songs, some interesting facts about the band, about the artist, and some really cool anecdotes about how I discovered them. So if you'd like to check them out, please check them out on my Spotify profile. I will link it in the description. My newsletter is something that will be very special for me. It will continue to remain my most curated and true reflection of my personal thoughts and essays. And my newsletter also gives rise to videos like this. So I've really enjoyed making this video, and if you'd like to read my newsletter, I will leave a link in the description. Make sure you check that out as well. So to end this video, I'll just describe my current favorites, some of the books that I'm reading, my podcast, and a song that has me absolutely hooked. I'm currently reading The E-Myth Revisited. This book is really helping me identify my path forward in terms of operating as a business owner, and there are 3 main mindsets that are discussed in this book. If you'd like to read my notes, I'll leave a link to my book notes, and you can check that out as well. As for a podcast, I'm finally getting back into my daily French listening with Little Talk in Slow French. My French comprehension capabilities are slightly below the level that is needed to understand everything that's being talked about in this podcast, but the host really makes it easy to follow with some subtle cues, and I highly recommend this podcast if you're learning a new language and that is a part of your 2024 resolution. A song is tough to pick, but every week I try to give a song in my newsletter. So this week it is a song by this artist called Matteo Mancuso, and the song is called Drop D. Make sure you check it out, and if you want to know more about this music or this song or any other album, make sure you check out my Spotify Music Plus Talk episode. I hope you're having a great week and a great start to the new year. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.